So lately, my housing management office, base housing on Redstone Arsenal, has been annoying me like a lot. And it's part of my personal therapy is what I call these introspective moments. It's just breaking down why the hell am I so annoyed? Well, the first reason is that I'm a retired person, and peace, peace is like priority one in my thoughts. Peaceful existence. I want to exist peacefully wherever I am, and my housing management team lately seem to be going really hard at annoying the hell out of me. And maybe it's just because I I'm not a very compromising person in this stage of my life. But just as an example, right? I opened a work order to trim the hedges outside of my unit. I live in a duplex, but I opened the ticket to trim the hedges, right? Because they were growing. They were growing. They were growing long enough to scratch against my car as I pulled in and out of my garage. By the way, I'm talking about the work order, and I'm just gonna, as an aside, my first mistake is being someone who's in their 40s and renting, right? Someone who is not who was living somewhere where I'm not getting any equity. That's my first mistake. That's on me, right? One could make the argument that I invited this disruption to my peace. Now, the work order, as I was explaining, an example of the way I'm being annoyed is when after I requested that work order, someone came out and actually just cut the hedges, just cut them all out. And I thought, oh wow, that's a solution. But what they left was the flower bed outside lining, whatever you call that, the little black part that separates the flower bed from, the edging. They left that there, in addition to some gigantic roots. And I opened another work order, and I kind of explained in that work order, very plainly, very neutral tone, like, hey, what's kind of the plan here? Are y'all gonna fill that in with mulch or concrete? What's the plan to make this so it can either be cut by the landscapers, or it can be covered so grass won't grow there? Because part of the lease agreement is that the housing office maintains any part of your yard that's not fenced in. I don't have a fence at all on my front or rear lawn. So anyway, that's just to explain the example. But breaking down why I'm so annoyed is what I need to get out of my system. And just on the surface, it's weird, right? Because here's the reality. Every one of those people that I have to interact with at that housing office on Redstone Arsenal, every one of them hopes to get where I already am in their professional life. A retirement check, maybe a disability check too, right? But basically, one or two checks they receive for the rest of their lives, which allows them to choose the professions that they pursue. If I wanted, I could get my passport out the shoebox and leave for Panama tomorrow. Every one of them has to go to work tomorrow. So why in the world am I so annoyed? Right? It makes me think of that quote, and I wish I knew who it's from, but it's beautiful. The one about lions. Lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. And I'm sure if that's taken out of context, it'll sound disrespectful. But in a way, it's very relevant. I should not be annoyed. I should not be annoyed as I am. I have the freedom to wake up when I want, wash clothes at whatever time I want. You know what I mean? It's irrational for me to be as annoyed as I am about this situation. And I think it comes back to the peace thing. I really think it's about the peace. I am still pissed off about my dad. Not as pissed off. Like if I was at like a 10, for all of 2025 and, we'll say the first 3 months or so of 2026, I feel like I'm probably at about a level 6 of being pissed off and or disappointed. Right? But anyway, I need my interactions to be as peaceful as possible so I can focus energy on coming back to myself. The reason I'm doing this video and that I'm not on the camera is because I weighed in at 245 pounds. I'm the same height I was when I was 18. I don't want to see myself, right? And I'm going to publish this video, which is going to make it eternal. Is that the right word? Eternal, infinite. Anyway, I'm going to put it on the internet so it's going to live forever. There we go. And we stop trying to use big words. It's slowing me down. It's also too early to use big words. But I definitely think it's just that I need peace to be undisrupted. It's unrealistic for me to expect that if I have to interact with other people, that's going to be the case. And, part of my being upset is that I put myself in this situation. The original plan was to live in Huntsville, figure out the areas that I actually want to live, which I expected to take 1 or 2 years. Renting, living in different areas, and then finding some place to build a house. And I waited too late. I didn't strike during the most optimal time to buy a home. And now I'm kind of stuck. So that's part of my frustration as well. But anyway, I think from this point forward, I'm going to look at these small inconveniences as just that. It's someone who is still stuck in the corporate world, which I get. I was there. I was the Air Force. The military is being a part of a corporate world, and that you at the bottom doing the work are usually charged with enforcing rules and policies that you don't have an input in creating. I get it. And I think I'll wrap with that. That's the conclusion. That's it. That's where I'm at. Retired Lions. Don't lose sleep over the opinions of underpaid sheep.